What's up everybody, Jason Page here. Welcome back to another video. I've got my aunt and uncle that are trying to get out of the frame right now with me tonight. Got them all dressed in black and we're gonna do like a light man and woman. And all I'm gonna do is trace them with light. I've got them wearing all black so that the light reflection will not pick up them. It will just pick up the light itself, the traces of light itself. I will link a full tutorial of how to create the light man or woman right up here somewhere, as well as in the description below. We're going to shoot a scene here tonight that makes it look like a light man and woman are sitting here having a picnic with this beautiful mountain view under a clear starry sky. Say hi to my aunt and uncle. Photo nerds over here. All right, so I'm gonna just sit them down here, position them, and help them to understand what we're gonna be doing here because they really don't have a good idea yet. You're gonna turn this way more. This way. Turn your whole body that way. So you're gonna be like this way. So I'm just gonna go whoop all the way like this, all the way up. I'm gonna do this leg too, like this, and this side. Just like I was giving you a haircut earlier.
Blend it, make sure you blend the light.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna illuminate this part. Right. While they're enjoying the view, I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what I'm gonna do for this shot. Basically what I have here is my aunt and uncle again, just dressed all in black. They're sitting here, and I've got them relatively positioned. My aunt is gonna be laying down a little bit more, but that is the general sense of how they're gonna be sitting. I'm shooting with the Canon 6D Mark II with the Rokinon 14mm manual lens. That is important that it's manual because I will be switching the aperture during the exposure. I'm going to illuminate them on one aperture, probably right around F11 or something like that, and then I'm going to switch it all the way open to 2.8 to allow the sky and everything to burn in much more quickly, just so we don't have to sit here as long, and also we'll get a lot more stars in the sky and things like that. The tools that I'm using to illuminate them are the pink and blue opaque light riders. The other tools that I'm going to be using are the color hoods. I'm just going to be using a couple different colors to add a little more illumination to the scene. Now we're just going to wait for it to get dark enough to start shooting, and once we do, we'll film the process and I'll talk you through exactly how I'm creating the shot while I'm creating it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and run through one real quick using the pink and blue opaque light riders to trace both of them, then using the color hoods just to illuminate the scene. The first setting that I'm using to trace them is ISO 400 at f/22. Then I'm going to open up to F11 to illuminate the scene with the color hoods, and then I will open all the way up to 2.8 to allow the rest of the sky and all the scene to burn in. So I'm going to go ahead and run through it right now, and here we go. Starting the exposure now, the settings that I'm using are ISO 400 at f/22. I will be changing the aperture during this one single exposure for the different parts of this image, but for the traces of light to create the light man and woman, I will be using f/22. The first tool that I'm using here is the blue opaque light rider, and I'm using this to create the traces of light around my uncle, which will leave this illuminated being in the image. What I'm doing is going back and forth around my uncle, around his arm, head, his entire body. I'm repeating the same process of just tracing him with light. It does really help that both of them are wearing all black to leave these traces of light. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this footage here so you don't have to watch this whole process, but essentially I'm doing the same thing with the blue opaque light rider, just tracing his body with light in a back and forth motion. Now I'm switching to the pink opaque light rider to create the illuminated being where my aunt is laying, doing the exact same process here that I did with my uncle, just tracing her with light in this back and forth motion. Again, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the footage here so you don't have to watch this whole process, but essentially just going back and forth with the pink opaque light rider, and these back and forth motions will leave traces of light that then turn into the illuminated being in the light painting. Now that I've created the light man and woman here, I'm walking over to the camera and physically changing the aperture on the manual lens. I'm changing the aperture to F11 to open up a little bit and just allow me to come in and add some more light to the scene using the color hoods. I'm using the pink color hood to add some light to where my aunt is, as if her illuminated being is emitting light out into the area. I'm using the blue color hood to add in a little light to where my uncle is sitting, or to where his blue light being is in this image. One more time, speeding up the footage here so you don't have to watch this whole process of me illuminating this entire scene. But what I'm doing here is using the color hoods to illuminate the scene and really highlight the areas that I want to bring out. Now that I've illuminated the scene how I want it using the color hoods at F11, I'm going to walk over to the camera again and physically change the aperture on the manual lens to F2.8. This is going to allow a lot more light to get into the camera, and it's going to allow the stars in the sky to fill in and just the overall illumination of the entire scene. The reason I'm doing this is, number one, that F2.8 is going to really pick up the stars a little bit better, and also just so we don't have to sit here and wait as long as we would at F11 for the scene to fully expose. All right, stopping the exposure now, and we'll see what we got. All right, guys, it is actually the next night. I wasn't able to finish the video last night because the camera died and I didn't have any more batteries, so I just wanted to wrap the video up here. I want to thank my aunt and uncle for shooting with me. Something that I really do enjoy is getting to share what I do with people that have never experienced it before, especially being out in nature at night. Last night was an absolutely gorgeous night. We had stars in the sky and all these fireflies just kind of shooting around. My aunt actually got to do some light painting. I'll show you that here real quick. Her very first one. I think she did a great job. It was really cool to be able to share that with them, that experience of being out at night in nature. It's something that a lot of people don't get to experience. So I want to encourage you, if you got some friends or family that have never been out with you at night and got to experience the beauty of the night. You know, I'm up here actually at their place in North Carolina. Down in Florida, it's not as beautiful because we got a lot of bugs and mosquitoes that will eat you alive right now in the summertime. But up here, it's completely different right now. Absolutely beautiful out. And they got to experience something that they had not experienced before, and they really, I think, appreciated it and enjoyed it. So again, encourage you, if you got some friends and family, if you're not in a place with tons of mosquitoes at night, take them with you, man. Get them out there, get them to experience, at least, if not light painting, just the beauty of being out in nature at night. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, please do give me the thumbs up down below. Any comments or questions, put them down in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed yet, of course, please do hit the subscribe button. Until the next video, guys, get out there and get creative.